Welcome to Midnight Madness, and today I'm reading for the signs of fire for the Sun, Moon and Rising for mid-October 2021. I'm reading with the Oracle, Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette-Baron-Reid, the Enchanted Map by Colette-Baron-Reid, and Fairy of the Tarot Cards, which is by Doreen and by Radleigh Valentine. And I also bought these really cool smudge sticks yesterday. It's called Healing Smudge. That's from Rainbow Runner in Hamilton. Adrian's really cool. He'll set you up with the right things if you're trying to clear a space or a unit, or you've got some people moving in or out or whatever. It kind of helps to heal whatever's gone down before you and after you. That's what I find works really well. I use it around my doors, so it comes in a really nice pouch, which I thought was cool, and it's all natural. It's made by Green Tree, native salt incense, and they're from the Netherlands, and it's got an aspect of many cultures and religions the world over. Native American culture, a practice of spiritual cleansing. I can't speak today. Blessed called smudging. The ritual calls on the spirits of sacred plants, tobacco, sage, cedar, sweetgrass, juniper, lavender and copal to drive away negative energies and prevent illness. So you can purify the body, the aura, the energy, the ritual space, or any other space and personal article. It's also practice for healing of mind, body and spirit, as well as balancing the energies. So that's where it comes, which is really nice. Nice little box. Native soul. Anyway, so that's what I was doing yesterday and today. So new people come and go. I did it with the last place before I left, just to get rid of my energy. Yeah, so I've got the first one I pulled, Moonlight Madness for mid-October. For the fire signs, we have the Seven of Swords, which I've got here. Seven of Swords. Avoiding unwise associations or partnerships, wanting to be alone with your thoughts, your solitude. And sadly it says people hide their true identities till the very last minute, which is what I've found. They pretend to get what they need from you, and then they use you, and then it all comes out when they're about to leave. So I've got here Seven of Winter, which is her skating across the ice. Some of you might be skaters. It says not seeing things clearly and running away from the truth. It just says here, listen to your spirit guides, and when it comes to matters of the heart, listening to your intuition, you'll be giving clear signs or messages for the truth. Pay attention to all the red flags. That's what it's telling you there. And that to broadcast a lack of honesty is what the red flags mean. So if you feel anything or sense anything, you should go on your gut. I always try to, but sometimes I don't listen to it. It always steers you the wrong way. Don't ever second guess yourself either. If you think something straight away about someone, it's usually right. I've got the Four of Swords, and that's to do with more sleep. It says set aside your concerns for now, make a decision later, maybe sleep on it. The need for a sleep or a vacation. And I've got Howlite, again from Rainbow Runner, which just helps with sleep issues. Lots of things going on in the world at the moment, no wonder no one's sleeping. I try to make sure I walk every day, usually for a couple of hours. It just kind of makes me sleep better. Sleep is crucial to you right now. Pine cones represent a truth that will be illuminated in your sleep. So you might be searching for the truth. And if you're psychic and you come to the conclusion you can't see what's right in front of you, if you go within, if you go to sleep and see it, it'll usually come out in your sleep when you're at rest. That's when most people come that have passed over when you're sleeping. It's when you're easier to receive. So that's what it's saying there. And it's just saying that the pine cones represent meditation. So being in meditation, doing fishing, walking, jogging, knitting, sewing, anything like that can take you out of your thought form and get your thoughts into a calmer state. Watching YouTube, education things. I was watching a really cool educational program today, all about sensitive people that are in the DSM-V. For mental health, that talks about how they're not actually put in there, but they actually exist. And the psychologist was there, and there was a hypnotherapist, and it was a really good channel. Found it very informative, very cool. Okay, so it says the past. We've got the Seven of Wands, which is this one. In the past, you were a bit of a rebel, if you were a fire sign. It's talking about you were defending your working position for your used to work, or at a gym for stress relief. You would not allow others to talk you out of your belief systems that were either black or white, that did not match theirs. Maybe you had a different religion or a different cultural belief or spiritual belief where you worked in a place that was not accepting of that. And I've got here, I pulled here the red carnelian. And yeah, this helps to banish sorrow, carnelian, and protects against envy and fear and rage. And sometimes in workplaces it can get very competitive. So that's what that's talking about. And then you've got, so there's a lot of competition in your past. Then you've got here the awakening, which is hangman. Something you have to give up, or looking at things in another perspective. So he's upside down, he's looking at life very differently and getting enlightenment. That's why he's got the orb around his head. So I pulled here the tiger's eye, because the tiger's eye is really good for that. It's to bring through a past life experience is what tiger's eye is used for, and for protection. It just says that you may have had to give up or see something from a unique perception, from a different viewpoint instead of your own. And you may have had to change to bring through these past life experiences to understand why you are the way you are. Hypnotherapy is apparently really good for that too. If you had a violent death in the past life, you'll bring it through into this one. If you reincarnate, so from a suspended state or a near-death experience. A lot of people say that they have near-death experience. Pretty much 50%, I think it is, that record it but don't actually talk about it to anyone because they're frightened of people thinking that they're crazy. But it does actually happen. So the awakening talks about rebels like weird or unusual. You can now see that strength it took to just be yourself. If you're in a place that doesn't accept this spirituality, and it was more government or run by people that don't believe in this sort of thing. Not many people, like some people do, you've got to be open to it. So you couldn't express how you were. You couldn't be your true authentic self. So you're very kind, you're very charitable. You probably extended aid to others that didn't even deserve your help, and they're probably backstabbing you from the other end. And it just says you were also you've worked with diverse cultural differences. Remember to keep some money for you. So it says it's great to help and volunteer, give money to donations or causes like Lifeline or House with No Steps. What was the other one I used to donate to? Make-A-Wish Foundation, Cancer Council. I used to do all of those when I was not working, and I just kind of made me feel like I was giving something back to the people that had helped me when I wasn't well. So that was really good. And I gave it to the women's shelter as well, because they gave me a supply of beautiful things that you would need, feminine hygiene type things, and soaps and ropes when I was homeless. So it was really cool that they helped me out. So you give back to people like that. And a lot of these companies actually donate them from places I used to work for, which is surprising. I found a lot of makeup houses donated little hand sanitizers, moisturizers, things like that, body wash, things that you really take for granted if you don't have them. It says believe in yourself. It says you've come from this. You had to have a lot of strength to grow. Maybe you learned some lessons in the past from being weird and extradited, from being not like the rest of them. The Prince of Wands is obviously you, which is the Leo, Sagittarian, Aries nature. So you may be either an Aries, or from what I can tell, you may be a Sagittarian, because I pulled the Chariot down the bottom. That's usually Sagittarian energy. So it says here, this may be specifically for this person, for a Sagittarius or a Sagittarian moon. A new vehicle, or you are the driving force in your own life. Victory, work-related travel. You may have many projects to balance out at once. It says stay strong, determined, stepping into the spotlight. Just be genuine and optimistic in dealing with the public, and excitement for your goals will shine like a beacon. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. So this could talk about a brand new love for a Sagittarius or a Sagittarius moon. And if not a new love, it could be a new state of intimacy, or you've come to a new phase or milestone in your relationship, and it's grown from not just the physical, but into the emotional, where you love them warts and all, rather than just the first couple of weeks of romance. You don't need that. You've grown past that. So it could mean that. It could also mean a new home and the beginning of psychic abilities or spiritual awakening. So I pulled the rose crystal for that. That's for the heart chakra. And so that's what that's talking about. Love, flirtation, may begin with a new person or awakening of a new psychic abilities, believing in yourself and your abilities. Then I pulled on top of that, I was like, who's this new love if it is a new person? If you're single, this could be for. And I pulled the Six of Swords, and that talks about someone from overseas. You could have a long distance relationship that you meet online, or maybe when you start a YouTube channel, or I don't know, Instagram. There might be someone that's liking your things and you don't even know, but they're actually trying to communicate through liking whatever you like on social media. I'm not up with that. I don't really know I don't do that very often. I just kind of comment here and there on the things I do know. And it's talking about moving from an icy cold place to a warmer climate. So they might be from the northern hemisphere and you're in the southern hemisphere where it's very sunny, which is Ace of Summer. You might have different, when you have spring equinox, spring's the opposite time of the year than what theirs is. So they could be going into their winter and we're coming into our summer. So that sort of thing. And, it's saying that you've packed all your troubles up, you've gone there to maybe go visit them over there on a holiday. You might get an invitation to come over and meet with them if you're dating online. And it says they could have a Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo energy, or maybe they have a Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo moon. This is just a few scenarios. Or there could be an Aries with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn moon. There's a few things there. And then you've got the Nine of Wands. This just talks about people that are like activists and environmentalists and things like that. This is protect the fruits of your labour, prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead, watching or donating money to places that help look after our oceans, our environment. I pulled the intuition card, the Lapis, for intuition, because this card also talks about keeping your resolve and a strong immune system. The world's energy for outside of your room becomes hypersensitive if you are an empath or highly sensitive person, according to MediHealth. This is a show I was watching online. These empaths are not even on the DMSV register or mental health, but they exist, and only 250 million people fall into the INFJ or the rare personality ENFJ, so they're both rare personality types. Most of them are on the diagnosis of autistic spectrum and ADHD. Most actors have one or two of these primordial traits. They feel and take on the world's worries by being sensitive to people's good or bad moods and stand up for the wildlife and things that they are really passionate about. I know they used to call them indigo people back when I first started learning about spirituality. The indigo children were the children that stood up and fought for things and did marches, like that's what's going on in the world with the world right now. They stood up for causes and things they believed in. Back in the day they burned bras for feminist movement and things like that. So they're the activists. They're the indigo children that have grown up to being my age group. Then we've got the Magician, and this talks about Aries energy, like I pulled before. And he's got the big staff there. He's at the bottom of the hill. He has to climb all the way up to the top of the castle. And it's like, oh my God, he's overwhelmed. It's really daunting. It's such a steep hill. But that's kind of starting. This is where you've come from. Maybe you've come from a really hard background, or you've had a hard journey in this lifetime round. And it's talking about getting on the path and just trying to fight through all the negative things that have been thrown at you when you were younger. And most of the kids that are sensitive or empaths have been through traumatic childhoods or traumatic upbringings. That's how they're sensitive to energies and people around them. So the Aries is usually a manifester, a magician, success due to excellent training. They've got money, friends, people and ideas will just show up in your life as if by magic to follow your dreams. Amazing skills and talents you have, and you can rely on, seek out advice from one or more experienced people in the field of spirituality or in the empathic range in your field of work. Allow them to open doors or offer introductions to influential people. You might do a workshop that helps to hone in on your skills. That's to do with your hopes and fears. And then you've got the Six of Wands. This is to do with an offer of help from someone in the public eye who may be a singer, someone who gets up in front and talks about things like spirituality, like Alison Dubois, or people like Mitchell Coombs, which is a local talent in Newcastle, who's been doing it for years. They might come out with the woodworks and try and help you with developing your skills or skill set. Or Radleigh Valentine, I know he does online, what's it called, Angel Therapy. You can pay $300 for, I think it's like a 6-month course or 12-week course or something, and you get to learn the skills of manifesting or honing in on your craft. It's called Angel Therapy. It's a real thing. It's a university based, it's on the back of the book, it's a university based degree, which is where Radleigh Valentine and Doreen Virtue studied it online. So it's a real thing. It's a give you a practitioner. So that's what they made him do. Then I try and do through a portal thing, like a duo thing. It says, be visible and be vocal about your beliefs and be that role model. Show others what is possible. So I'm going to pull some clarification cards. And for some reason I heard yesterday, a couple of days ago, I kept getting the song Tomorrow with Silverchair. He was also a Newcastle talent. He was 15 when he started out. It was massive, big influence on people of my generation. I can remember wearing Doc Martens to school and listening to Silverchair, and there would be the big day out when he first got recognised, and he always threw it back to Newcastle. Like when he first did his Tomorrow video, the Australian version, he actually filmed parts of the beach and stuff like that, which is really cool. But on the American version, they kind of didn't use that footage. But his voice sounded so much better on the Australian version, I felt, than on the American version. And he went through PTSD, and he's been through it. And he came out the other end and everything. And he bought a ring, I can remember, from the jewellers, the local jewellers in Derby Street. And the diamond he got there was for Natalie Imbruglia. So he put someone else on the map, and I thought that was amazing that he kind of did a nod to his roots. Like, he's never forgotten where he's come from. And I was reading that he apparently grew up in Merewether. His mum was home and his father owned a fruit shop. So yeah, he used to play in the back of the garage for 4 hours at a time, and that's how he got noticed and recognised and entered this talent competition. I just thought that was really cool. But I heard the song Tomorrow, and one of the lines that came through strongly was, you don't need money, but I don't know, sometimes they say you don't need money or something to that effect, but I'd like to see how you live without it. And it was such a true thing that rang through to me, and I kind of went, that's exactly what I was thinking, when COVID hit and no one can work and everyone's lost money in jobs and everyone's struggling. And I don't think it's just financially. I think it's mentally. I think it's spiritually. I think it's on a whole different level. And that's why I've been doing this channel, because I started this channel just as a blog, and the blog was on Facebook. And then I decided to go ahead from another reader who inspired me, Ocean11, he's really good, to go and do my own little channel. Truth be told, so you've got something that's coming that's been hidden from view. That's what I got with the 7 of Winter. Someone's telling you porcupines, and they're not being 100% truthful with you. They're kind of breadcrumbing you. I'm getting the term breadcrumbing specifically because they want to find some information out, but they don't know how to go about it. So they're using a spy. That's what I'm getting. A spy could be a member of your family, someone trying to find out information about you through another source. So it could be, a cousin or a brother or a sister, because they want information and you're not giving it out, and you're not on social media very much, so there's nothing they can find out. It's a really, jealous type of energy I'm getting. So hopefully that's not for everyone. And then I've got Blessed. So that's a really cool card to pull. And it says that. So that's up the top where you got the recognition from the public. And then I'm going to pull another card. This is from the Colette-Baron-Reid, the Enchanted Nut. I also got lots of things to do with the Night's Games, with Andrew Johns and his brother, Matthew Johns. And for some reason I was getting images of him when he was a kid and playing on the field and just, just stuff like that. And yeah, just images of him came through yesterday really strong with his sister and things like that. And I thought there's something to do with him. Maybe he's going to do something new or new endeavour he's going to come through with. That's not good. Embrace, sad embrace is that one. It's usually to do with death, but I'm hoping not for someone. There's been a lot of that going on with COVID. A lot of people we didn't even know passed on. I've been watching some of the things on the celebrity gossip, and so many people have passed over that no one even talked about because it was just kind of, they didn't want to leak anything until they had the right things. And I guess it's just shame that they couldn't have gotten to it sooner in America. They had a pill out probably 10 months or 6 months beforehand and no one released it. I was watching Russell Brand talking about it. They actually had a cure for it, but no one seemed to think it was a real thing or it wasn't real. Maybe they could have saved people with that. That's kind of sad. It's only just starting to get good now. But even then we still don't know if it can spread to another strain. So it's all very sad and embracing and depressing and divisive is the word I would use. It's dividing a lot of people. Strength. That's what everyone needs, a little bit of that right now. So we've got strength and sad embrace. Truth be told, 14. This is to do with court cases and court matters, and I guess when you sign a job or a contract, it could be also do with work. When you sign a new job, you have bilateral agreement. It could be that, or it could be just when you sign a deed to a house. It could be that as well. It says here, there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there's a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud. Be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is peeling off the layers of denial that once kept you to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. People tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to them. And pay attention to how they behave. This card calls for you to engage in heartfelt, open conversations. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back, speak your truth and listen. So it says here, are you willing to do whatever it takes to experience the prosperous life you desire? If you want to be an artist, do you make art a priority? If you want to be a healer, do you set time aside to learn new things to help you serve? Or a writer must write, a singer must sing. Being true to your calling is essential to you moving forward. There is another oracle message here too. It's time to have a look at the real, honest truth about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about prosperity, about your relationship to money, to compensation, and to meaningful work. Ask yourself, what is true for me? And you'll find the key to your abundance. What's your worth? And I think a lot of people associate worth with money and a job. And it is really debilitating when you don't have work. And I've not worked for a while, and it really batters your self-esteem. But, I then got told that by one friend I used to have, he'd said, your worth is not by what you earn, it's what you give to other people. It's what sort of person you are. If you're a good person, you should go out of your way to help others. That's a good person. That's how your worth should be measured. But a society that we live in is very judgmental, and I think it can be very harsh when you're a younger person not working. So my heart goes out to people that have just lost jobs and they're younger. There must be a lot of grieving going on out there. So then we've got blessed, and that's 22. Where are we? Something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, grace that is unforeseen gift from Spirit. There are moments in life when out of the blue it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. Deep down you did not deserve any of it, yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. You are moving towards a deepening of intimacy in a unique and sacred partnership. You know you are meant to make this connection. This union, blessed by the divine, will bring transformation and beauty to the world. This is also a sign that, even more important, you're being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit. With this new development, you will see evidence of grace in your life. That's really nice. An unexpected windfall. Good fortune is coming your way. You're in a lucky phase right now. So any problems that you've had or obstacles in the past will disappear by themselves. Be ready to receive the opportunities. The windows of opportunity will open wide, and accept the blessings given to you now. Don't forget to share your wealth or your happiness with others. That's really good. It's a good omen for someone who's looking for work out there, like me and everyone else, I'm sure of it. And then we've got the Enchanted maps and Embrace 45. It's very confronting. 45. Loss, grief is a part of life. Let go and allow time to heal you. You may be entering into a period where loss is a theme. Perhaps you're having to let go of a long cherished dream. If so, take heart, for this ending may have been for your highest good. A better and more powerful dream will be realised in your life if you can accept the loss. Relationships based on faulty foundations are meant to end at this time. Disappointment is a form of perception. If your expectations weren't met, a sense of loss arises along with sadness and grief. Express these emotions. Tears are like healing rain that can restore life to a parched inner landscape. Growth is always assured whatever the loss is. However, you grow from your experiences. However, it is let go and experience your feelings so that you may soon see what beauty lies ahead. And then we've got strength. This is the card with the lion usually, but this is their version of strength on this deck. It's balancing. 44. That's the number before that one. 44 is your true strength comes from self-reliance alone, but from sincere faith in a higher power. The strength is to accomplish even the most daunting tasks is yours at this time. You can reconnect with and channel the power of the universe. The strength card indicates that your ideas are being tested and refined, and your relationships are being deepened no matter what happens. Nothing can move you off the course of evolution. As the potency of your connections becomes more obvious, you're able to harness the creative energies that are available to you. Have courage and dive in, for magic is in the process of finding a form to take. When you remember that real strength comes from a combination of all your efforts and reliance on a higher power working through you, all is possible. You can do anything. That's exactly right. We just are vessels for the divine. So we are, if you're an empath, you're just getting those messages from God, or whoever you choose to call God, or your spirit guides. That's not your ancestors sometimes pass along, genetic blueprints for people that are open and intuitive. It's a DNA. It's part of your DNA. What you're getting is part of your DNA. And sometimes it opens up very young. I was watching the same show with MediHealth, and they were talking about the psychologists and hypnotherapists that sometimes these intuition impressions come about because they've moved the child from a very quiet neighbourhood to the city. And when this shift of environment, they call that anthropology, the environment, nature versus nurture. They talk about moving someone from a quiet place to a noisy place, and all of a sudden they'll be desensitized to noise, but then they'll also be looking for that quiet, and that's actually what makes them empathic, because they're looking what they came from, because their neuroreceptors are changing and forming because they've had to adapt to this new set of circumstances. Then they become really sensitive to noise, and it kind of unsettles them, and that's when they pick up on energy around them, because the sharp noises create them to look out for sharp noises because they're not used to it. So it's very interesting that it can come from your surroundings, your environment, on what type of kid will come out of that. Will he become an introvert or will he become an extrovert? Depending, can go either way. So that's all I have for you today. I'm hoping that helps someone out there specifically, but it is for fire signs. And if you're partnered, it might not apply with the new love, or it could apply, and it could be to do with a relationship that's you've maybe lost contact with, and it might be a family member that you might have long distance relationship, when you might need to revisit that because it's coming close to Christmas and people want to reach out. So maybe you need to just do some duo calls or something like that. So hopefully that helps someone. Have a good day.